Good afternoon, everyone. Would you please rise for the procession?
Good afternoon, everyone. Please be seated. My name is Scott Keller, and I am the Dean of the Lewis Baird Jr. College of Business at our beloved University of West Florida. On behalf of the university administrators, faculty, and staff, I welcome you to this great event. I extend a special welcome to friends and family of the graduates who may be joining us via the webcast. More than 24 years ago, Baird College of Business representatives had a great privilege to visit Mannheim, Ludwigshafen area of Germany to finalize an international educational cooperation with the Transatlantik-Institut, an international educational institute that is sponsored by Ludwigshafen University of Business and Society. We're gathered here today to celebrate our 21st graduating class from that cooperation. I was reflecting this morning, and I had a little reminder that I didn't anticipate, and I saw that I taught in the program in 2011 in Ludwigshafen. And so it was a great experience for me, and it kind of set me in motion to have more international experiences. And so it did change my life. And so I'm certain that it'll change your life as well. And that 21st graduating class, the first graduating class graduated the year that I started here at the University of West Florida. So I'm a big fan of the program. I think it's wonderful. It is one of the great jewels in our Lewis Baird Jr. College of Business. This agreement makes it possible to deliver our UWF AACSB accredited MBA degree to cohorts of German professionals using an executive MBA style format, making it possible for them to earn a graduate degree in business while continuing working in their careers. Candidates, in a few minutes, we will acknowledge your dedication and hard work by awarding you the UWF MBA degree. We are all very honored to celebrate your achievements with you today. At this time, I would like to introduce other members of our platform party who will participate in the ceremony. And starting closest to me, we have Mr. Scott Ambrose, our guest speaker, and I'll more formally introduce him in just a moment. We're also honored to welcome Professor Dr. Gerhard Raab, Managing Director of the Transatlantik-Institut and Professor of International Marketing and Management at Ludwigshafen University of Business and Society. And we have Melissa Brode, Associate Dean, Director of Graduate Programs for the Baird College of Business, and I'll say the champion of our Germany MBA program. It's now my pleasure to welcome our guest speaker, Mr. Scott Ambrose. He is a native of Pensacola, Florida, and a proud graduate of the University of West Florida, where he earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Marketing in December of 1986. Following graduation, Scott began a distinguished career that has spanned nearly 4 decades in healthcare, medical technology, commercial leadership, and strategic account management. He currently serves as Vice President of National Accounts for Ultramics, a pioneering healthcare AI company focused on transforming cardiovascular care through advanced echocardiography solutions. In this role, he leads national account strategy across many of the nation's largest health systems, integrated delivery networks, and group purchasing organizations. Prior to Ultramics, Scott served as the Senior Vice President for the Americas at Terumo Aortic, where he helped lead extraordinary growth and commercial transformation. His career also includes executive leadership roles with Abbott, Boston Scientific, and E&J Gallo Winery, where he developed expertise in strategic accounts, pricing strategy, commercial operations, and organizational leadership. Scott continued his education by earning an MBA from the University of Dallas Graduate School of Management, graduating with a perfect 4.0 GPA and completing executive studies in negotiating strategy at Harvard University. Beyond his professional accomplishments, Scott is a devoted husband to his wife, Ginger, and a proud father of 5 children. He enjoys cooking, consulting, real estate investing, traveling, and spending time on the beautiful beaches of Northwest Florida. As a former UWF student who built a career through perseverance, accountability, and commitment to lifelong learning, Scott brings a unique perspective on leadership, personal growth, and the power of education to transform lives. Please join me in welcoming fellow Argonaut, business leader and today's commencement speaker, Scott D. Ambrose.
Thank you. So I guess grateful would be an understatement. Privileged is more like it. Congratulations early to the graduates, family, friends, faculty for giving me an opportunity to speak 40 years after what would have been my final semester at UWF. Looks a lot different, not only at UWF, but certainly for me and in my life. And what I'd like to talk about today is hopefully some things that the MBA students will be able to take back and understand the differences between perseverance and resilience and what all that means to you. And I will tell you that as a graduate of 1986, I think I was probably taking 21 hours the last semester, as a good luck story. And I think I should share just a little bit to qualify what a good luck story is. So fortunately, I was the first person to graduate in my family from high school, which is, we call, here in the United States. Much less attend college or get a graduate degree. I'm an old football player. I'm an old boxer. I thought I would play American football in college or something along those lines. I ended up deciding through some discussions that I had with some very informative people. I was, for the most part, raised by my grandmother. I met my father for the first time when I was 23, and there were a lot of cycles that I was breaking, trying to make sure that some of the things that those generational curses that I'd had growing up were broken. And I can tell you that number one thing that did it was education. Hands down, the absolute, I guess, I won't even call it tiebreaker. It has generationally changed what's happened. This charmed life that I live, I can't begin to tell you how grateful I am for the folks that took an interest in me, that said, hey, look, you know what? You work hard, you keep your nose clean, you treat others with respect. There's just really no limit to what you can possibly do. And for me to think 40 years ago that I would be here addressing a group of MBA students from Germany, there would have been no way in hell. First of all, that I would have thought it, and secondly, my classmates, right? It was much different back then. So I finished college in 2.5 years. I worked full time. I paid for every penny of it. And I tell that story because I hear people saying, I don't know if I should take 12 hours or 15. And I'm trying to figure out if I should take 18 or 21 and how many classes I took during the summertime. I paid for every bit of it. So what does all that mean to the MBA students? Well, it means that as you go through the next 40 years, hopefully one of you will have the privilege of doing what I'm doing. And today is not the end of the road, but I think a beginning of the next 40 years and what you're going to actually accomplish. So I will tell you that over those 40 years, I've learned a lot about what works, what doesn't work, and I hope that I can give this group something to think about when you leave, different from, hey, congratulations, you've done it. Take it from somebody as a good luck story, that there is no substitute for the accountability of feeling like you've achieved something and that you've managed not only your career, but your family, and that you feel really good about what you're doing. So I'm going to talk about what I've learned, and I could say, you know, how did this happen? How did someone who grew up in a family that didn't treasure education, why I decided to go to school, what that meant to me, and what actually happened. So this is what I've learned. So number one, I think I got about 6 of these, and I'll send it out to the group afterwards. Number one, it's not how you act, it's how you react. And I can tell you, you don't control what comes your way, but you damn sure control what the response is. You have an opportunity to manage and measure that response and how you shape what that outcome is. You're either a victim or a victor, right? You either become a circumstance or some sort of, oh gosh, this happened to me, so I can't get things done. I tell my daughter, I have 5 children. I tell Savannah, who's a student here, baby, it's all about accountability. And if you get struck by lightning standing on the street corner, guess what? You probably shouldn't have been standing there. She says, well, I think I get it. So the moral of the story is it's your problem now. So you can either blame the circumstance or you can make the most of what you're doing with it. So we don't choose our starting point. We do inherit some obstacles. It'd be kind of boring if you didn't have them. And as you go through and you decide on what your response is, be measured in it, be thoughtful about it. And I can tell you that those that are the happiest people that I deal with, and I'll get into some of these folks that I've hired and these teams that I've built over the years, the one thing that they all share in common is that they are completely accountable for everything that happens to them. It's liberating, right? I can tell you that to rely on other people, in my instance, was to be disappointed. So I'd rather do it myself. If the help came, terrific. It's outstanding. But to rely on it is a failed strategy, in my opinion. Secondly, self-discipline beats talent. I'd mentioned earlier I was an old football player and an old boxer, and sports taught me a lot. As a matter of fact, it was the beginning of me breaking the cycle of bad decisions and generational curses. When I got on the field, whether you're playing soccer or football or whatever sport you choose to play, I knew when I got on the field, everybody was equal. It didn't matter what car I drove, what clothes I wore to school. It didn't matter what my house looked like that I grew up in. When we got on the field, everybody was equal. And I remember my coach telling me the great equalizer is education, right? You're always going to be great at sports for as long as you play, till you get a little bit older. But if you want to break the cycle of poverty, you do it through education. And those lessons that I learned really have helped shape me over the last 40 years and live this unbelievably charmed life that I'm working with here. We're going to have a chance at dinner to go through it. I can tell you as much as you want or as little as you want. So I want to try to keep it as abbreviated as we possibly can. Choose your people carefully. Man, if there was anything that my grandmother gave to me, it was the fact that you need to be around sustainers, not drainers. You want to pick the people that you're around that are going to build you up, that you aspire to be, the teams that you build at work. I got a little secret for you. To try to hire somebody and you're going to change their mindset on how they're going to do the job, their sense of urgency or what you're going to do, ain't going to happen. Hire better people is ultimately is what it comes down to. I've been fortunate that I've worked for really world-class organizations on talent. As soon as I got out of college, I had no idea what I was getting into, but I was so thankful that I did. So when you choose your people and you understand as you build your entire team out, I hire what are called trained effing killers. And I think everyone knows what maybe the effing is, right? These guys and young ladies are all very disciplined and regimented about what they do. They're completely accountable and responsible for everything that happens to them. I don't have to worry about speeding them up. I have to worry about slowing them down. They're I guess, a group of people who are driven by what they do, not what others do. They march to their own drum, if you can imagine that. And when I look at it, and I look at all the people that have helped me through my career, this is a stepping stone for me as well. This is my first time giving a commencement speech. I'm so grateful for it. I'll learn from it. We'll continue to get better at it. But every one of these people, these TFKs, they have a lot of things in common, but one really, really important one is they weren't afraid to face the fear. They weren't afraid to put themselves in uncomfortable positions, which is very, very critical for you to grow. And it's unnatural. I mean, especially in sales or one of these leadership positions, you get up in the morning, get run over by a bus, and you get right back up and you say, okay, when's the next one coming? It's unnatural. But if you're able to do it, and you're able to do it with a smile, it's amazing what will happen to what's going on. Lesson 5, total accountability. I've talked about that. I won't spend a whole lot of time because I want to make sure that we save some for the end, which is what I hope that the group will really take away from this. As I've said before, it may not have been your fault, but it's your problem now. So again, you can be a victim, and things can really say, listen, I didn't have this or I didn't have that. Ultimately, it's up to you to make it happen. And that liberation that you get from total accountability is something that I wish I could share with everyone. It's wonderful to know that if you're going to fail, it's going to be you is the reason that you fail. It's not anybody else, right? So when I look at these folks on total accountability, there's usually 3 types of people. You guys have all worked with them. You've got them in school, you've got them in work, all the way around. You got people who make things happen. You got people who watch things happen, and you got people that wonder what the hell happened, right? And at the end of the day, your accountability piece is this: measure yourself against what your personal best is, not what somebody else is. It's a miserable life chasing what you believe happiness comes from trying to beat somebody. Ultimately, the only limitations you truly have are self-imposed and only limited by the depth of your ideas, and most importantly, the degree of your dedication. So if you know that the only person that can stop you from doing what you need to do is you, it's a lot better once you conquer those fears and you do the things that are responsible for being able to try to put that together. As far as competing with yourself, lesson 6 I've got is maximize your full potential. That comparing yourself to other people, I think, is really crazy. When I see it, people go, well, he has this, or, they have this, or their career's done this, one way or the other. At the end of the day, set your own goals. Rule number 1 is don't beat yourself, right? Be bold on yourself, be brave, and go out and do things that are really uncomfortable. And again, it's unnatural. But over 40 years, I have learned that those people that are able to do it and do it with a smile, those are the TFKs that live a much different life than most others live. Now, I will tell you, I've been fortunate to hold several different positions. Started out carrying a bag as a sales rep, then I was a manager, and then I was a director, and then a VP, and then a president. I could have never imagined. I didn't have one professional figure in my entire life. As a matter of fact, we'll talk a little bit about it at dinner, but I had moved so much when I was growing up that I really didn't attend school much more than half the time until I was about in 5th grade when I moved in with my grandmother, right? So the difference was the sports. And ultimately, what I really wanted to make sure that this group understood was what I learned early on is resilience and perseverance. You hear about grit, you hear about guts, you hear about all that stuff. But I can tell you this, if you've got something that you believe in, which is yourself, and you give up, you know what the result is. It's failure. So as you work through the next 40 years, trying to figure out what you're going to do to shape your career, your family, all of those things, remember that you're accountable for what happens there. And then the last thing that I'll leave with before I go into my closing is be what I call a broker of hope, right? So a broker of hope, I am the eternal optimist. So whether I was living in a housing project or federally funded lunches, or whether I was living in a trailer, if you guys know what a trailer is, I'm the same guy. I'm the same happy-go-lucky guy as I am today, and I live in a wonderful setup out on Pensacola Beach. We're going to be having dinner out there. I had to pinch myself sometimes to really believe this charmed life that I live. I envisioned it, but I didn't understand fully what self-discipline could really mean, right? How many people could you help? So I've had an opportunity, I don't know how many over the years. I've run several teams, several organizations, had a chance to work with some magnificent people. And they all call it Ambrose Nation. Now they all, they call me Ambrosisms, sustainers, not drainers, and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, we share this brotherhood and sisterhood, if you will, for the group that's in there, that we hold each other accountable for who we are and what we stand for. And that is maximizing your full potential. And as you think about that, after you got this master's, listen, I enjoyed my undergrad. I thought it was terrific. I can't tell you how much I learned. I really loved my MBA. I loved it. I mean, I was thinking about things that as an undergrad, you certainly think of it. But then as you start running companies, you start saying, well, what's the cost of capital, right? What happens logistically? Scott, when you've got a situation with a supply chain that's not working for you, or how all of those things, they all came back. Every one of them. I'd be taking these classes sometimes. It's God, man, I got to get through it. We're going to get done what we need to get done. But at the end of the day, I used all of it, every bit of it. So when you leave here, the challenge is this, and I'll send this out later for the team to understand what I mean by being a broker of hope and writing the script. As a broker of hope, the goal is, at least in my experience, if I haven't made you a little bit better with any interaction that I have with you, if I haven't made you smile a little bit, if I haven't made you get a little pep in your step or something along those lines, then I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. My job, I was put here on this earth, in my mind, to elevate everyone that is around me. Not to break them down, but to elevate them. And if you surround yourself with good people, these people, when they make mistakes, you all know them. They beat themselves up more than I could ever say to them as their manager. They're beating the hell out of themselves. So what I got to do is make sure that I say, hey, look, you know what, well, let's retool this. Let's get going, because I don't want them to make another mistake as they're beating themselves up as they go through it. So as you're going and being that broker of hope, all of you are going to have an opportunity at some point, either through a coworker, a team that you're building, an organization that you're trying to put together. Leave it with one thought, and that is, you write the script. You write it. It's either a horror story or it's a success story or whatever that is. And I planned on making mine a masterpiece. All the twists and turns. I'd say, God, man, how could that happen? How could that happen? And then I'd remind myself, it ain't how you act, it's how you react, right? You got a chance to really take this as a learning experience on what you're doing. And if you didn't have a few twists and turns, it'd be a boring ass story to me, right? You want to do something and live a full life, one that's something you can talk to your kids and your grandkids about and say, God, man, I can't believe it. You're not going to believe what's happening. And tell great stories that go along with it. And I'll leave with one, and then I'm gonna say thank you, and we'll have a chance to deal at dinner. When I first graduated from college here, it was in 1986, and people talk about not having money. And there was at the time, Scott, I think it was marketing and accounting, I think finance. And so I was a marketing guy, and there really wasn't much recruiting that was going on. So I had an opportunity to get the newspaper downtown. There was a Atlanta, big town from, you guys flew through it. So that was where a lot of people in this area would go to work. So I saw this ad and it said sales opportunity, $24,000 a year, company car, all the good stuff, right? So I go up and I interview, and I go in and I talk with this gentleman. His name was Phil Johnson, and he looked like the meanest man I'd ever met before. And fully, great command presence, had the deep voice and all that. And he said, so it says here you finished college in 2.5 years and you paid for all of it, and you are wanting to get into sales. He said, so did you pay for all of it, and or did you just buy? I remember him saying, did you just buy your undergarments, or what was it? And I said, no, it was the whole thing. So that was the shortest interview I'd had. It was about 5 minutes, and the next thing I knew, the boy who'd never been any farther west than New Orleans before was on a jet plane to Los Angeles, which was a long way from here, right? And I remember when I got there, I just couldn't believe it was happening. This was everything that I thought I was, getting into. And then I get out there, and when I talk about the struggles and challenges, I remember having $50 or $60, which is probably equivalent to maybe $200 or $300. Had no credit card. Thank God they had a car for me waiting at the airport that I could take to the hotel. Hotel was there, and I get there and I'm thinking, God, man, had no idea what I was getting into. They had a national training program that they brought all these people into Los Angeles, and I come from you who, you what, you where at that time, University of West Florida. And I get out there and go to a sales training class. And I remember that day, they said, you need to go down here and find a house to live in. And all of a sudden, all those old demons from the past came up, because I didn't have money to go down and find a house. And I had to take an advance from my work so I could have the money to get it. I didn't have anybody to call. There was no fallback, right? And it was humiliating. And it was that humiliation that got me to get educated in the beginning. So I remember doing it. I remember I didn't have any furniture. I had one suit. I had 2 shirts. I bought an iron from what we call the Salvation Army for a quarter. I'll never forget it. When I turned it on, the lights dimmed because it was so out of shape. But I ended up getting an apartment. There was next to the dumpster, there was a couch that it was the beautiful, most aqua green couch you'd ever seen. I thought, God, this is awesome. That's a bed and entertainment. So I ended up using that. So I go to class the next day, and this is part of writing the script and what I'm going to challenge you guys to. So there's 6 of us in the class. You've got Stanford, Harvard, Princeton, Notre Dame, Northwestern, and UWF. And that day, I remember thinking, well, we're going to find out what you got. We're going to find out what you got. So everything was going great. And normally ended up, and I don't know if the group or some will get this in here, but we had to sing our fight song. And I knew, the Notre Dame song, there's it's a big rally cry. Well, I didn't know that UWF had one. So back in the early 80s, there was a group called the Sugar Hill Gang, and they sang a song called Rapper's Delight. So I ended up, for my college song, I sang Rapper's Delight. And I'll never forget when I got finished singing, they got down, sat down, the guy from Stanford said, that's what legends are made of. So moral of the story is it ain't how you act, it's how you react. It's what you do with it. Don't let fear overcome what you're doing. Great story is all 5 of those guys, at some point or another, they all ended up working for me. They all did. And we learned a lot from each other. It was a great experience. And I tell everyone, your education, you own it. When you're at work, you own it. Your ability to climb the ladder, it's not someone pushing you down. It's your inability to influence up. So if you have that accountability piece as you're writing the script, make the damn thing a masterpiece. And as you guys go out, I hope in 40 years, you get a chance to have the privilege that I've had to do what I'm doing. So congratulations. I look forward to spending some time with you, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ambrose. It's actually an honor to have a fellow graduate of the University of West Florida be our guest speaker, and a fellow Argo, of course, and really did a great job sort of giving out some sage advice, and I think very eloquently communicating the transformational power of education. So thank you so much. All right, next I'm going to introduce Lucas Brenner, Maximilian Leonard, and Leah Blaers, graduating German MBA students, to make remarks on behalf of their graduating class.
Good afternoon, everyone. Dear faculty and staff, professors, families, friends, and most importantly, dear fellow MBA graduates. Today, the three of us have the honor of speaking on behalf of our class, a class of 19 students from Germany who at some point collectively decided that full-time jobs, personal lives, responsibilities, projects, meetings, travel, and the normal level of stress is simply not enough. So we naturally added a part-time MBA.
But looking back, this was not a traditional MBA experience. We did not spend 2 full years here on campus together. We did not meet every morning to get coffee before the classes. We did not have endless nights in the same library. Actually, most of the time, we studied from Ludwigshafen or online. Often after long work days, between business trips, family commitments, project deadlines, and calendar invitations, which multiplied overnight. And still, we made it work.
We were not only students, we were also employees, managers, engineers, consultants, project leads, colleagues, friends, and sometimes just very tired people staring at a case study late at night, wondering whether strategic alignment could also mean aligning ourselves with some sleep. But that is exactly what made this journey special. We did not step out of real life to study business. We studied business right in the middle of real life. Every concept, every discussion, and every framework immediately met reality in the next morning. In our companies, in our teams, in our meetings, and sometimes in our inboxes.
One of the highlights of our program was our stay in Florida in January 25. Many of us probably had a very clear picture in mind: sunshine, palm trees, campus life, and maybe a little beach feeling between the lectures. And then came a snowstorm. Yes, a snowstorm in Florida. That's quite an achievement. Other MBA classes travel to Florida and bring back souvenirs. We came back with a story that sounds like we made it up. But in a way, that was the perfect MBA lesson. Expect the unexpected, adapt quickly, and stay calm, and keep going. In other words, resilience, crisis management, and change leadership. Delivered not by a PowerPoint, but by the weather.
Another memorable moment was our visit at Hambach Castle, together with some of the American students. Hambach Castle stands for democracy, freedom, courage, and new beginnings. And in many ways, that also reflects what the MBA has meant for us. It was a new beginning in how we think, a new beginning in how we lead, and a new beginning in how we collaborate across cultures, industries, and perspectives. Over the course of this program, we learned a lot about finance, strategy, marketing, leadership, operations, and organizational change. We learned models, frameworks, methods, and probably more acronyms than any reasonable person should know. But the most important lessons went beyond the curriculum.
We also learned how to deal with uncertainty. We learned how to listen to different perspectives. We learned that leadership is not about having all the answers, but about asking better questions. We learned that international collaboration sounds inspiring and sometimes simply means finding a meeting time that works across time zones. And we learned that growth is rarely comfortable, but almost always worth it. Our class was made up of 19 people from different companies, industries, and professional backgrounds. That diversity made our discussions richer. We did not all look at problems the same way. We challenged each other, disagreed with each other, learned from each other, and occasionally tried to convince each other that our interpretation of the case study was, of course, the correct one. And that is where much of the real learning happened.
Because an MBA is not only about learning from professors, it's also about learning from people sitting next to you. In our case, sometimes from the people appearing on small rectangles on our screens. It's about hearing someone say, in my company, this works completely different. It's about realizing that your own perspective may be valid, but it's never the only one. It's about building the ability to think bigger, question deeper, and act more consciously. Today, we are not only celebrating an academic degree, we are celebrating persistence. We are celebrating curiosity. We are celebrating teamwork. We are celebrating the fact that we kept going, even when the calendar was full, deadlines were close, and the motivation was occasionally held together by coffee and peer pressure.
We also want to thank the people who supported us along the way. Our families, partners, friends, colleagues, and employers. You carried part of this journey with us. You gave us time, patience, encouragement, and understanding. And you probably heard the sentence, I can't, I have to do something for the MBA more often than you would flight. Thank you for standing by us. We also want to thank the faculty and the staff of UWF, and as well the Transatlantik-Institut, and everyone who accompanied and supported us throughout this program. Thank you for challenging us, guiding us, organizing this journey, and encouraging us to think above and beyond our boundaries. Thank you for not only teaching us business knowledge, but also helping us to grow as professionals and individuals.
And to our fellow graduates, we can be proud of ourselves. Not because we now know everything, we definitely do not. In fact, if this MBA has taught us anything, it is that the world is more complex than we thought, and that the phrase, "it depends," is a valid answer to almost everything. We can be proud because we stayed committed, because we invested in ourselves while working full-time, because we showed discipline, flexibility, and resilience, because we kept showing up online, in Ludwigshafen, in Pensacola, and for each other. We also want to send our very best wishes to the two classmates who unfortunately cannot be here with us today. You are very much part of this journey, part of our class, and what we are celebrating too.
Tonight is not the end of the journey, it is a milestone. We return to our companies, teams, industries with knowledge, new perspective, new friendships, and hopefully a stronger sense of confidence in what we are capable of. The world does not wait for perfect plans. Business does not wait for perfect conditions. Leadership does not happen only when things are easy. Leadership matters most when situations are complex, uncertain, and uncomfortable.
And if there's one thing we have proven, it is this: we can handle uncertainty. After all, we all accomplished it. We have finished our part-time MBA program while working full-time and experiencing a snowstorm in Florida. So, honestly, what is supposed to scare us now?
Dear classmates, congratulations, we made it. Now, let us celebrate this moment, carry it with pride, and move forward with the confidence that we are ready for whatever comes next. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucas, Maximilian, and Lee. We have coined you compliments of Dr. Richard Hawkins, the storm cohort. We did have 9 inches of snow, and we also had a tropical storm kind of clip us while you were here on this visit. 2 kind of unusual things, but your talk really reminds me that the best the best relationships are forged over a common experience, right? And the more difficult that common experience, I think the deeper the relationships. And I think we could all agree that doing an MBA together while you're working full time, yeah, that's challenging. So we have found that the cohorts really stick together and have lifetime relationships from doing this program. In a few moments, we would like to begin the presentation of degrees. But first, we would like to give Professor Dr. Gerhard Robb, Managing Director of the Transatlantik-Institut, an opportunity to address the graduates.
dear faculty members, colleagues and guests, and especially the members of the 2026 graduating MBA class. It's a great pleasure and honor for Katrin Paul and me to be with you today here in Pensacola, College of Business, University of West Florida. You know, today is an important day for all of us, especially for you MBA candidates. It's an important day for you because the graduation is a final step in your MBA program, and it's an important step in your life. Albert Einstein once said, peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. During the last 18 months of your MBA program, of your MBA journey, every one of you had the opportunity to learn a lot of new things. And it's an important part, you know, to get a better understanding of new management theories, economic theories, and digital tools. This kind of knowledge offers the possibility for you to see the challenges in the global world and in your company from a different perspective and in a successful way. Besides this more practical and intellectual resource, an important part of your MBA program was to increase and to deepen your understanding of and about different cultures, like the US and other countries. You know, this kind of knowledge and understanding offers the possibility for you to see the differences and opportunities in the global and competitive business world. And this world is our world. This world is your world. Without this social resource, it is and it will be impossible to be successful in the global workplace. And it is and it will be impossible to build a peaceful environment around the globe. I'm sure that your MBA program and the cooperation between the College of Business at UWF and the Transatlantik-Institut at Ludwigshafen, University of Business and Society, is one step in this direction and in the sense of Albert Einstein. You know, we have to learn from each other and we have to open ourselves in our own interest and in the interest of our world. And may everybody knows in these days, and beside all differences, beside all different meanings, it's may now more important than ever to strengthen the transatlantic dialogue and the transatlantic relations. The current crisis, like the war between Russia and the Ukraine, the conflict in the Middle East, you know, makes us a war that we have to stay close and that we have to invest in intercultural education. Your intercultural education, your experience, your understanding is an asset. It is an asset for you, it's an asset for our two nations, and it's an asset for our world. The International MBA program at UWF, in cooperation with the Transatlantik-Institut at Ludwigshafen University, exists now for more than 20 years. And today is our 21st graduation here in Pensacola. And at the end of the graduation, we will have more than 250 graduates. You know, what a number and what a success for all of us. And I would like to say thank you to all of you here in Pensacola who made our friendship and this cooperative and successful program happen. A special thank you to Melissa Broad and to Richard Hawkins. You know, we share the same values and wishes. And of course, you are the main pillar of our partnership and of our friendship. You know, we share the same values and vision, and we trust and respect each other. And at the final end, that's the key to be successful. And moreover, I would like to say thank you to all the people who were there for you MBA candidates, your colleagues, your friends, and especially your family. You know, they supported you during an intensive time, you know, because of all the work, the readings, the case studies, the portfolio, there are papers that has to be done, you know, to gain an ASCSB degree. It's not possible without the understanding of people who are close to you. But finally, you made the game, okay? You made the game to get your MBA degree, and you made this game because of your personality, your motivation, your discipline, your willpower, and your team spirit. The nomination of all of you for the Beta Gamma Sigma Society underlines, your outstanding academic achievement and your strong sense for team spirit. We wish you that your MBA degree and your knowledge is an asset you take for your life. Take all the opportunities you will be offered and be open-minded lifelong. Congratulations to you from Katrin, from Janina, and me. We are proud of you, and we wish you the very best for your future. Let's stay in touch, and now enjoy this moment, enjoy this evening, and keep in mind you hold the future in your hand. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Rob. I guarantee after 21 years of a partnership, we have definitely formed more than just a business relationship. All right. It is now our great pleasure to recognize the accomplishments of these graduates in a formal hooding and degree presentation ceremony. Each of the members of this platform party has a part in the ceremony. Allow me to describe the process for those unfamiliar with our diploma ceremonies. First, I will present the candidates to Dean Keller for the awarding of the degree. Next, Professor Dr. Gerhard Robb will call each student forward individually to be honored by receiving the Master of Business Administration hood and the Master of Business Administration degree. By way of explanation, the hood is a traditional piece of academic regalia that clearly distinguishes graduate level academic achievement. The hood also signifies the scholar's discipline and the school awarding the degree. The color lining the hood, in this case, light brown, represents the discipline of business. The green, blue, and white colors inside the hood are the colors of the University of West Florida. Go Business Argos. In addition, we will also honor those students who were selected for induction into Beta Gamma Sigma. Beta Gamma Sigma is the International Honor Society recognizing academic excellence of students in business programs accredited by AACSB, the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business. Membership in Beta Gamma Sigma is the highest recognition a business student anywhere in the world can receive in a business program accredited by AACSB. Only the highest performing AACSB business students are eligible for Beta Gamma Sigma, including the top 20% of master students in our college. Induction into Beta Gamma Sigma is truly something to be proud of, and we are proud of the performance and dedication to learning displayed by the candidates here. To recognize these students, we will also award their Beta Gamma Sigma stole along with their hood. I actually want to mention this is the first time we've ever had a cohort where every single student is getting inducted into Beta Gamma Sigma. This time. Graduates, as you come forward after your name is called, you will pause in front of me and Mr. Ambrose, and we will place your hood and award you your Beta Gamma Sigma stole. Then you will proceed to what we call our step and repeat, and meet up with Dean Keller, who will present you with your diploma cover for your degree. Please pause long enough with Dean Keller to have your picture taken. And then as each new MBA receives their diploma cover, it would be appropriate at that point for all of us to congratulate the candidate. Will the candidates for the Master of Business Administration degree please rise? It is my honor to stand before you today to announce the 21st graduating class of the University of West Florida Transatlantik-Institut Germany MBA program. Dean Keller, these candidates have been approved and recommended by the faculty to receive their master's degree upon completion of all requirements.
Okay.
So MBA candidates, as I call your name, please come forward. Abbas Abdul Rahman. Ja, plus. Lukas Brenner. Alex Dilfing. Thomas Heidelsburger. Helena Fliemann. Tim Konja. Ansgar Remersson. Becker Lauer. Maximilian Leonhard. Fabio Blumia.
Nina Mach. Alina Podolski. Alexandra Wong. Sonja Skalnik. Suna. So the next on our list is Annika Treck. Well, unfortunately, she can't join us today, but I think she has one of the best reasons why she couldn't join us, because she's taking care of her little girl. But I think, congratulations to you from all of us, to good old Germany, and to you. Thanks. And I remember it's maybe 2 or 3 years ago, we had a situation there. I had one of the graduate student, a little boy, and of course we bought a little present for him. And we will put it in our luggage when we are leaving, Katrin and I, and we will send it soon to you. So that's for your little boy, girl. Okay. Yeah, so congratulations to you from all of us. And next, Erika Zhang, unfortunately, also can't join us today, but I would like to say, hey, congratulations to you from all of us. I think open a good bottle of champagne or wine and enjoy it. And we are proud of you and wish you all the best.
Graduates, by the authority delegated to me by the faculty and the Board of Trustees, I confer upon you the master's degree to which you are entitled and welcome you to this ancient and honorable company of scholars. The master's graduates may be seated. Congratulations.
Thank you, and everybody else can please be seated. As we celebrate this milestone in our graduates' journey, it's important to acknowledge the outstanding support that they have received along the way. The dedication and hard work of our staff, both at the University of West Florida and the Transatlantik-Institut, have been instrumental in helping our students reach this achievement. Their behind-the-scenes efforts, encouragement, and guidance have made a meaningful difference. From the Transatlantik-Institut, we extend our sincere thanks to Catherine Powell and Janina Stevens. And from the University of West Florida, we are very grateful to Amy Sinkus, Amy Brewer, Amy Miller, my trifecta of Amy's, Lindsay Nuremberg, and Aaron Douglas. And I got to tell you guys, we got wild carded yesterday afternoon. We've had a long time partnership with our local radio station. They usually do our webcast and unfortunately had an emergency. They let us know about 2:30 yesterday afternoon they couldn't do our webcast. Yeah, it's really important to us that we be able to do that. And Team Amy's and everybody else really got together, including Tom St. Meyer from our marketing communications, and really came up with a solution. So thank you, guys. Those are some winners there. I'm really lucky. At the heart of any university are its faculty. They're the scholars, mentors, and guides whose dedication shapes the academic journey of every student. The success of a graduate program is a direct reflection of the passion, expertise, and unwavering commitment of its faculty members. Their devotion of teaching, research, and student growth gives life and purpose to our program. I offer my deepest thanks to our faculty, whose pursuit of knowledge and excellence is the foundation of our graduates' success. Pursuing a rigorous MBA program while balancing the demands of a professional career requires remarkable perseverance, discipline, and sacrifice. Our graduates have demonstrated extraordinary resilience in meeting this challenge, but their success has not come in isolation. Behind each of them stands a network of support, often made up of family and friends whose encouragement made this achievement possible. To those loved ones, some of whom may be with us today, and some watching via webcast, we extend our sincere gratitude. Your unwavering support, patience, and sacrifice have played a vital role in helping each of our graduates reach this milestone. Thank you for walking alongside them for this journey. As we conclude today's ceremony, we celebrate not only the achievements of each graduate, but also a meaningful milestone in the history of our program. This marks the 21st cohort, which is really more of a testament to 2 decades of academic excellence, professional growth, and an amazing global partnership. To our graduates, your journey has required resilience, discipline, and a deep commitment to learning. You now carry forward the legacy of those who came before you while paving the way for those who will follow. We are proud of your accomplishments and confident that you will continue to lead with purpose and integrity. On behalf of our administration, faculty, staff, and the entire University of West Florida community, we thank you for allowing us to be part of your story. We look forward to seeing the impact that you will make in your organizations, your communities, and the world. Congratulations to the class of 2026, our 21st cohort. Thank you for being part of our celebration, everyone, and best wishes on the journey ahead. This concludes our ceremony.